Alright, so it's time to film another video. Got everybody seen this. This is my 1923 or 24. I'd have to look back. It's either 23 or 24. Maytag 82. These are pretty rare engines. You don't really see them much. But everybody remembers, if they've been around long enough, been watching the videos long enough, this I did a Willet run on this last July. I bought this from Flywheel Supply, actually. They had it for sale on their website. And it actually runs okay, but it doesn't sound so good because of that's how much connecting rod slop it's got in it. It's got the crank end play ain't bad, but I can pick up and down on the crank. That's the crank moving. So when this thing is running, if y'all have seen the video of it running, it knocks pretty bad. So I was looking on eBay the other day and ran across these. This is a rebuilt connecting rod, remachined. Very good machining on it, polished up. It came with a new stainless steel wrist pin and brand new rebuilt main bearing casting. It's freshly machined here. Got new bushings on the inside. Very, very good machining on that. So it was a little pricey, but went ahead and got that, and then I got a gasket kit from Flywheel Supply. So I put gaskets on this thing in the last video, but I'm gonna ruin them when I take it back apart. So the goal is tonight, I just want to get the crankshaft out of it and be sure I don't have to hone any of that to make the crankshaft fit again. Because in 1924, these kind of weren't standard sizes. I don't think these have a tapered crankshaft. I think these are just a straight slip fit held on with the nut. Need a place to put my bolts. Here's the bolt. Alright. There's our key. And you can see all the grease that's come through from the grease cup. This engine does have a grease cup. The new main bearing's not going to allow me to use the grease cup because it doesn't have the spot for one, but that'll be alright. Here's our crank shims and our seal, and the little seal retainer ring, which I dropped and we'll have to clean now. But you can see how much crank in play it's, or not in play, but back and forth it's got right there. It's got a lot. So yeah, there's a flathead screw. Plug wire off. I think I can take it out up here too. That's original. That's a Bakelite end on that wire. So now this should slide off. There's our mag and our points. Put that back there. A 1/2 inch. Take the grease cup off. And I've got an idea. If I can remachine this main bearing here and rebush it like they did with those and the connecting rod too, which I probably can. I've got most of another Maytag 82. Most of it. So I could actually probably build a second one, which would, if I could find the parts, would make a really, really neat video series. I don't know why the camera just stopped videoing. That's weird. For some reason it stopped videoing. Yep, it ripped the gasket. Oh well, I got new ones. There we go. I went to thrust bearing, which I don't think is correct to have a thrust bearing. A lot of grease in there. No wonder this thing never wanted to run right. All the darn grease that's in it. But I think that was the only thing that really kept it running. So, turn this crank up a little bit. Yep, the connecting rod fits, and there is no slop. That is great. I think the camera's actually about to run out of memory, which isn't good. Because I don't have another card. Alright, so last night the camera run out of space, but I got a little bit now, so hopefully it'll be enough to finish this. So we are going to put the new connecting rod on. I pulled the cylinder off camera. I apologize for that, but went ahead and got the old connecting rod off. It's in okay shape. It's not great, but I'll put the new one in it. Wrist pin's got some wear. So we're going to install a new one, and the new stainless wrist pin. So get some engine assembly lube, put it on the wrist pin. And put some in the on the thrust face of the connecting rod, right there. And so this rod has you can see this side's a little wider. That's going to face the main bearing. Maybe this has to go in this way. I think it does. That or it just doesn't fit. See if it just needs a little tap. I don't particularly care for having to beat on stuff like that, though. I'm gonna see if I can get it to go in off camera, but if I can, I guess I can reuse the old one. Alright, so I was able to get the wrist pin in. It went in okay. It was just a snug fit. I'm going to wipe the gasket surfaces down, and we'll get our new cylinder gasket out and reinstall the cylinder. Alright, gasket's ready. I put a little bit of Permatex on it just to help it out, because these gasket surfaces are 90 something years old. Gonna get the gasket seated on there like that. Thing looks alright. I'm going ahead and get one bolt in there. I did clean the bolts up because they were covered in paint. These gaskets are guaranteed to seal. There we go. Making sure everything's still moving freely. This one right here is going to be a pain as tight as it fits on that gasket. I was able to take it out with my fingers, but I'm going to have to put it back with a wrench. And I was able to get away without removing the block from the cylinder in the gas tank. So I'm not going to film putting all these bolts back in. Alright, so I decided to go on ahead and install the crankshaft tonight. Get the new side cover on. I'm putting plenty of assembly lube on this because it is a two-stroke. And I did already try this in the new main bearing, and it does fit very nice. Yeah, it spins extra smooth. And the little oil hole is going to face up. But I've got to get a gasket on here. I just wanted to get the lube on there first before I get the gasket. I've already cleaned this surface. And yet again, I'm going to put some Permatex on this gasket too. Alright, got the sealer on the gasket. and it's going to face with the two notches facing forward like this, the two notches in the gasket. I'm going to go on ahead and grab the bottom bolts because the top ones have the timing plate on them. I'll just set these right here. I just wanted to roll it over. Alright, so now I'm going to get the timing plate, which I think goes like this. Okay, yeah, that's the only way it can go. I'm just going to snug these down. I'm not going to over tighten them and bend the ears on the brass plate, like so. There we go. No backlash in that engine. Got compression. Guess I can put the magneto back now. There we go. Really, this was a pretty easy swap. I actually put the key back in the flywheel and try to put the flywheel back on, so we've got our seal ring. I'll wipe this stuff off. I think this went like this. Then goes the seal. Seals actually don't ride on the crankshaft, they're kind of behind it, right on the flywheel. And there's this. And then there was a stack of crank shims, which I don't know if I'm going to need to adjust or not, but for right now, we're just going to put them both back. And if I need to adjust them, I can, and I have some more. And we can. Right now we got way too much crank in play, but that will change when I put the flywheel on. Tap the flywheel key back. Put the nut on. This is going to draw it up. Starting to tighten up. Yep, it locked up. I'm going to take out a crank shim. I'm going to take out the thicker of the two for right now. And then if it's got too much, I'll remove the thinner one and put the thicker one back. Still locking it up. Wants to turn, but it's not, so let's take the other one out. May not need any crank shim. Hopefully that does it. Yep, still locking it up. Alright, let me do some looking. Alright, so been working on the 82. Finally got it figured out. I got the flywheel back on. It's it has got no backlash in it at all. There's like that much. That's all it's got. And it turns over just extra smooth. Doesn't have any crank in play. There's no side to side slop. It took a lot, and I mean a lot, of trial and error to figure out why that flywheel was seizing the engine. Turns out it was actually the inner hub hitting, like on the new one, it was hitting here as it's coming out. It was inner hub, so I had to machine that down a little bit and get that correct to where it wouldn't do that. It had a bad burr on it, was the problem. So it turns over good and smooth. I got the crank in place set. I did that kind of off camera just to save on time. So I'm going ahead and put the carburetor back on. A little carburetor gasket. And I am going to put some Permatex on it too, because I liked how the old gaskets were stuck. And that's what I did to them, so. It is MP15, but this carburetor really doesn't look flat anymore. So that's kind of why I think it needs gasket shellac. But this, the new bearings ought to make this thing a completely different engine from what it was. Last year at the Adams show, I was able to run it, but I had to run it in very short intervals because it would get to knocking too bad once it got hot. I think they need to redo their gasket die or something because these screws don't want to fit. I had that problem with the cylinder too. The screws really didn't want to go through. Take the little air cap off. Sorry if I'm blocking the camera. I'm trying to see what I'm doing here. It's getting tight. There we go. Carburetor's back on. I am going to go through and re-snug all of the cylinder bolts now that the gasket is kind of set overnight. I can't really get to that bottom one though. And there we go, it's all back together. Except for the points cover. Put that back on it. Which it's just a piece of aluminum or sheet metal or something. I need to order it an actual maytag 82 points cover. Flywheel Supply remakes those, I think. But it throws this thing slightly out of balance. So it wants to vibrate around. Might go on ahead and order that if I can. I don't know if I get it for the show or not. Yeah, it's got extra good compression. I can put the carburetor adjuster back. I'm going to spin it 2 times, see if it'll hit. readjusted the points. Might have to screw it down and try to pull it with a pull rope. Alright, let's see if it'll start up now. It's got a full tank of fresh gas. Yeah, it tried to run there. Sounds like I need to turn the governor up some more. I'm gonna give that just a couple more turns. It does want to run though, that's a good thing. Maybe a little too much going the governor. And on the fuel. This thing is deafeningly loud. But it doesn't knock anymore. I'm giving it just a little more fuel. Okay, carburetor was choked off. Probably flooded now. Alright, so y'all heard it run. I'll get some more video of it later. Alright, so I guess that's going to about do it on the Maytag 82 video. I did get it running better than it ran in the video. If you notice, it's got a new spark plug wire. That was the problem all along why it wouldn't run, was because it needed the spark plug wire replaced. But I'm sure everybody's seen this in the tractor show video. This Maytag 82 video was filmed before that last video. And it ran good at that show. It got everything broke in. It ran for probably an hour and a half. I ran one full tank of gas through it. So it did do good. It looks real nice and runs good. So uh, I'm sure to be in more videos from shows and such. Sorry that video's been so slow here lately. It's been getting slower. I was having about one a week, but hopefully we'll get back into that schedule here pretty soon. I got some projects coming up, so sorry about the bad lighting over here too. I got it on the shelf because the workbench is all took up. So I guess that'll be about it for this video. Hope everybody enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.